Good morning. Welcome to the Learning Pro Live. I'm saying good morning. It's good morning here in Australia, but it's probably evening where you're tuning in from. Really glad to be here. Thank you for tuning in. We've got our first comment from my friend Devlin. How you going, Devlin? Lovely having you here. So I'm going to talk about something quite exciting today, how to edit in Photoshop. Now, normally when you mention Photoshop to someone who's not a designer, they go, oh no, it's too hard, I can't do Photoshop. I'm going to show you how easy it is. And we're continuing this conversation about building your brand. And sometimes non-designers really struggle with this. They say, oh, I don't know where I can get assets from, etc. So I did a little bit of kind of prodding around last night, and I was looking for some inspiration for this video, and I thought I got a good example. And I want you to think a little bit about these suggestions and this editing, about how you can actually apply it to your e-learning projects, whether you're building something for your portfolio in someone like Devlin's Academy, or whether you're just wanting to build out some good examples. But I think you can get some great inspiration from different stock sites. And if you can learn Photoshop, you can take these little nuggets and use them in a variety of different places. Now, bear with me. I've lost a screen somewhere. Where's it gone? All right. So let me share my screen. And I'm going to show you the first example that I'm referring to. All right, now, got quite a few people tuning in. So let me know, where are you tuning in from? We've got Devlin, he's out there in Oregon. Got that right. Let me know where else you're tuning in from. All right, so this is free pick, and I basically was particularly looking for 3D characters. And I came across this one, and I thought, do you know what? Even though if I was building my brand, and I maybe didn't want to have my face on the website, a character like this might look quite good. And I actually quite like the aesthetics of this, even though some people might say, oh, it's a bit too trendy for a learning designer. I think it looks pretty great. So we're going to look at how we could utilize this, right, for a portfolio item or for your website. We've also got Bella, and she's from Tennessee. Hi, Bella. I'm really excited to have you here too. I saw that you shared on LinkedIn that we were doing this, so excited that you were able to make it. I'm a bit last minute, aren't I, scheduling these things. All right, so I'm going to open up Photoshop. I've actually downloaded this file. So this is free pick, and I did a search for 3D. I literally just downloaded it, and you can normally get an idea of what format these things are in, because it will say template in PSD. PSD is a Photoshop file. So let me just open up Photoshop, and this is what we've got. So this is me just opening it up, and all I've done is I've expanded the layers. So what you do in Photoshop, just to give you an idea, is if you come to Window and you open up Layers, okay, it will bring up layers just like a storyline file, right? So I'm going to talk in e-learning terms, because I know most of you who are tuning in are going to be e-learning designers or developers or something like that. So when I had a look at this, when I downloaded this, the first thing that I wanted to do was suss out exactly what they've shared in this file. And sometimes you'll find developers have shared the pure file, and sometimes people have shared like a photo. So you can't really amend very much. So let's have a look. So we've got here, if I turn off the texture, right? And let me know if you can see this okay. Now, I wonder, have I actually got another screen that's maybe zoomed in a little bit more? Let me know if you can see this, okay? Actually, I can use a tool. Let me see if I can use another tool. Okay, just seeing if I can zoom in a little bit, but I haven't got it set up. All right, so let me know if you can see this anyway. So basically, you can turn off different layers here. What I was interested in, particularly, I might zoom in this way. I was interested in this character, right? So I came over here to the layers and I was like, okay, what exactly? Actually, I'm making a mess of this now. I'm making a mess. I'm just going to go back. So here I wanted to see exactly what had been shared and where the actual character lived. So I started essentially turning things on and off. So I said, okay, so that does say logo there. So that's a logo. Fine. Text. Okay, so all the text elements are there. All right, so this is the design elements. Cool. So that's what I want to play around with. And then the background is on this layer. So what I'm able to do, for example, is if I want to go and identify what is the color that is on each of these layers, I can do that. So here in background, I can just double click and it'll open up my color picker. And you can see that is the kind of cream color that's there. And that's the hexadecimal color. Great. All right. But it was this character. So I started digging deeper. I know that it's on this design layer. Okay. So as I dug deeper here, you can actually see, hi Betty, thanks for tuning in. Lovely to see you here. When I clicked on and off this design layer, so actually let's just turn everything off so we can focus on this. Just like we do when you're using something like Articulate Storyline, you're literally turning on and off layers to work out what something is. Sometimes it's not so easy because someone hasn't named these layers so well. So for example, these say shadow and shape and things like that. But what we're actually doing is we're concentrating on this. This is the character. Okay, so if we just double click on her, you can actually see that this is opened up on a new layer. And a lot of this is trial and error, right? So don't be scared, just clicking and unclicking, because if you don't save anything, you can close out and you can come back, okay? But this was a nice one because actually I didn't like this red hue. And once I started turning things off, right, you can see she actually is like this, right? Now, something like this, I think looks pretty nice, right? If I was doing a project and, you know, because things like this, they're built in tools like Cinema, is it Cinema 4D, Blender, right? There's not much more that I can do editing-wise with this. I might be able to do a little bit more with some color correction, like I suppose that they've done here. Sonia's here. How you going, Sonia? Lovely to have you. But I think something like this is great. So if someone, even Betty, said, you know, I'm looking to rebrand my website. I'm looking for a suite of characters. The beauty with the free pick here is there's all these characters in different poses that I thought looked pretty, looked pretty awesome. So let's just keep going. So let's say I'm like, oh, this looks great. I'm really digging this. I could see me using this. I'm going to show you what you need to do to download different layers so you can use them again, okay? So it's as simple as once you've got this layer open, if I'm happy with this and I want to use this again, I'm going to go to File, okay? I'm going to go to Export, Quick Export PNG because you want this transparent background. All right, now I'm going to save it somewhere that I can find it. I'm just going to pull this PSD tutorial. Should have had all this ready. And I'm just going to save it here, and I'm going to say woman reading. I think I just spelt reading wrong. Anyway, so I've saved that out. I'm happy with that. Let's take a look at the text. Okay, so I'm just going to go, I'll just go save. So that would now take that hue off. So you can see they've changed those hues on there because it didn't fit with this kind of color scheme. See how she looks very yellow. So let's say you said, well, I'm not really keen on this color scheme anyway. Let's see if we can switch this up a wee bit. So see on the background, if we double click this, let's maybe make this white. Okay, cool. Still not loving the color of her, but that's okay. She's looking a bit yellow. What I actually might do is show you what happens if I made a mistake. Okay, so I'm actually going to close that, don't save, and I'm going to open it up again. I think it was this one. Yeah. We'll leave her with this colour, actually. So that's me. I took it out. I took off the texture. We'll leave her in this colour, right? She's got a... I know what they've done. They've tried to make her a little bit more pink so she looks more normal because she's very grey looking, you know. All right, so let's say you like this. So let's just jump back in. We're going to go to our vector object, file, export, quick export of PNG, and we called her PSD tutorial. Let's just stick it up there so we can click it quick. Woman reading, save, yes, replace it, happy days. Right, all right. So now we're like, okay, well, I quite like these little bits and bobs that are around here. What would I do if I wanted to, for example, copy these clouds? All right, so let's have a look. So again, it's a little bit like, it's a little bit of a trial and error, turning these on and off, right? So we know that that's a kind of flower. So we just rename things. Flower, small, flower, and then this one was a large. And see the magic here. You can actually see that what that's done is when I clicked on that large flower, all right, so if I double click on it, oop, okay, so what we'll do is we're going to select that large flower. So all I've done to select that, okay, is I've gone Command A. Oh, did I do that? You know when you know something, you just do it without thinking. Command T, right? So Command T or Control T if you're on Windows. And then you just go to File. Did that not work? well, you can do it another way, right? So if for example, let's just go quick export as PNG. That should, we'll have a look, but that should, by just right clicking on the layer, allow you to export that layer. So again, we're just going to jump PSD tutorial. We rename the layer, so it's allowing us to save it. This small one, okay, is small flower. I'm just going to go PSD tutorial, and we'll actually check that has worked. So what you can see is actually happened is it's cut off for that one. This one is in full. So we'll come back and we'll fix that. Right. So what's this? That was something I added before. So if you accidentally add a layer, you can just delete it, like I did there. All right, so we've got small, large. I wonder why I couldn't do that. Large flower. That's odd. Okay, I'll sort that out. Okay, so this was shadow. Let's come up here. Okay, so that's the little search icon, right? What have we got up here? Okay, so that's this little rectangle down here. So what's happened is there's a rectangle and within it is this design. So if we hover over that and go File, you can actually do it from here if you wanted to be quick. Quick export as PNG, rectangle, pop it in the tutorial. Okay. I think there was another rectangle somewhere. Oh, there. So we'll save that one as well. We'll call this rectangle 2. Okay, want to find this ellipse. Nice. So we just save that. Now, one of the things that I like about saving it this way is you're kind of getting it in the size that the original design was. Okay. Which one is this? We've got another shape. I think this is going to be these circles up at the top. Yeah. Now, another trick I want to show you is, let's say, now again, I might be getting a bit complicated, and I'd love your dialogue here, guys. Let me know, do you think that understanding a little bit of CSS is going to be helpful for you, right? The reason that I'm asking is if we come to this this box. Now I'm just going to come out of design for a second and come into, oh, it is there. Ellipse, shape. Where are the shapes? Large flower, rectangle. So sometimes it's about rounded rectangle. So that's the pink one. Oh, that's the green one. So if you want to work out the CSS properties on something, so for example, you said, I would really like to recreate, or let's go something simpler. Let's say you said, I really want to recreate this button, but I don't know what the corner radius is, right? I'm just using this as an example. So we've got rounded rectangle, rectangle. Where's the other one? Rounded rectangle. You can actually go copy CSS. And I don't have a CSS editor. So let's just say... So any element that's in a program in Photoshop, unless it's obviously a vector, you should be able to pull the CSS off it. So Sonia said, yes, please. All right, Sonia. So just keep letting me know if this is, if you know this stuff, if you don't, and I can dig a bit deeper on anything, if I know it, that I can help, okay? So if there's something that if there's something that you're interested in finding out a little bit more about, you can do it this way. So it could be that you want to work out the size of an element. But this isn't given. Okay, hang on a second. So I love that you can copy CSS like that. Sonia says, could you repeat that? All right, no problem. So I'm hoping that this is right, but this doesn't look like it's actually given the rounded corners, and it could be that they've manipulated that. Okay, so how can you find the CSS of an object? Okay, so you go to the actual element. So if we go to the ellipse, for example, this ellipse here, and you right click and you go copy CSS. Now, I wonder if this will work for an ellipse. Right, so copy CSS. All I did there is I right clicked, copy CSS. And that's it. That's all you need to do. So if you wanted to work out, as far as with that ellipse, the width of it, the color, if you wanted to do that this way, it's actually quite neat that you can also copy the SVG. Okay, so you could actually do quite a lot in Photoshop if you dig quite deep. Right. So that didn't really help as far as that box was concerned, right? But let's say you said, well, I quite like that box. I want to be able to use that for titles and things like that. So if we get this rounded rectangle, again, quick export as PNG, right? Let's say you said, well, I want to actually export that as a SVG, right? No, actually, can I do that? Export as... No. Quick export as... I actually never thought about this. Is it converting it to a smart object? And the rectangle. I'm going to find this out. Bear with me. We're going to find out together. Export SVG from Photoshop. So maybe it's not an SVG. Make sure the shape layer you're exporting has been created in Photoshop. that may be why it's not an option. Select the shape layer, right click on the selection, export as, so that's what I did, choose SVG. So it is likely that this has not been, there's no option for it because it's not actually a pure shape, it's a PNG that's been put in there. Now that's not terrible, okay? So let's say you want to use this again. I'm going to put these actually in Adobe XD so you can look at it, how we could recreate this, right? So let's just download these as, we're going to call this green rectangle. And then the other rectangle should be the pink one. That was green rectangle. It's good to rename these layers like we do in Storyline. This is pink rectangle. Cool. So we just right click on that, quick export as PNG. Happy days. Right. Now, let's say this font. Right. So I did this on purpose. Della, if you get to the point where you're using a template and you click on it and it says, these fonts are missing in the text layer, Della Gothic 1 regular, no sweat, right? I've got it here, but I'm just going to show you what I did. So I went Della Gothic 1 font. Sometimes you don't need to put font. And voila, it's a Google font. I've actually brought it up here. So if you're using Photoshop and you find a font is missing, or you get it from somewhere else, a lot of the time, here's a top tip. If you are looking at, a lot of the time, someone won't put a premium font into a template. So a lot of them are going to be free. So don't stress that you're going to have to pay for anything. So I'm just going to, again, pop this in this tutorial, open it up, and I'm just going to add it to my fonts. Did that add? Don't think I clicked it. All right, so this font now should work. So let's jump back in my Photoshop. And now I can use it. Cath Ellis. And let's go to the green. Let's click on this text layer. And I'm just going to go Learning Designer. Right. So, okay, what would you do with this? The green rectangle. Let's see what we can do with this. We want to make this a little bit bigger. You can actually, aesthetically, I could make this a little bit smaller. All right. So let's see what we can do with this box. So we're going to go green rectangle. So what you can do is if you go Control T or Command T on a Mac, you can actually start manipulating some of these shapes. Now, obviously, that's stretched that a little bit. So you might go, oh, don't love that. I might want to recreate that so it's more like this, but we'll just leave this for the minute. Okay, I'm just showing you kind of some things that you can do here. Again, even with this, now this font is DM Sans. Now I have this in my computer, but again, if we're in the same situation and you are looking for your font, DM Sans. Okay, so that's a Google font. All right. So all you need to do is just download that if you don't already have it. Back to Photoshop. And I might go get in touch. So if this is me and, you know, obviously my hair, I look nothing like this. But if this was me and I wanted to get some ideas of branding my own business and or using this for a mock-up, I can definitely have a bit of fun with this. So, all right, how could we potentially, we've got this, we've got these elements, we've got the rectangles, we don't have this, but what I'd recommend that you do is you potentially add the text in later, right? Let's see if we can manipulate this badge up here, right? Let's see. I can't promise anything. Great. All right. So I might go Cath Ellis Learning Design. And then what you can do is you should be able to, you know, you could do a few things, right? You can either give it a couple of extra spaces, right? Or you can actually play around a little bit with the kerning of this and give it a little bit of padding. So see how that just added a little bit to it? Right, that looks pretty good to me. I mean, honestly, this kind of stuff, I think it looks very, very nice, very polished, right? So if I take that, I don't need to click on, so if I wanted to download a particular layer, so just that pink, for example, I could go right click, quick export as a PNG, right? But if I wanted, so as well as, that's probably one that we could export as an SVG. No, that's so odd. Maybe I'm going to have to go and double check on that. Export as, what are my options? All right, let's just export it as a PNG. Right. And I'm going to call this low. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to save it. And I'm going to go quick export as a PNG. And I'm going to call that a logo and put it in the PSD tutorial. All right. So let's, you know, we've been going now for 38 minutes. I should try and bring this together for you guys. All right. So let's just create a new artboard. And let's just pretend this is storyline. Okay. One of the things that I didn't do was double check this background image. So I'm just going to get this color. And I'm just using this to play around if you wanted to do a little mock-up, right? So here we're just going to get that color and we're going to pop it in the background here, right? Next, let's get our character. Now our character was woman reading. Look at the quality of this. It's so good. Is this helpful, guys? For those of you who are tuning in. All right. So the nice thing about something like Adobe XD or Figma or whatever you're using is you can see it will give you a little indicator when you're in the center. Now, we actually wanted that shadow as well. So what I should have done, let me go to my Photoshop file. It's taken the character and the shadow as well. So you can actually highlight both of them, quick export as PNG, and I'm just going to go, oop, what happened there? Quick. Oh, maybe I can't do that. Okay, that's fine. Let me get the shadow. This is going to get messy now. I wonder if I can group these together. Group. Okay, so this is asked for a group name, so I'm going to say character. That's better. Character, we're going to say with shadow. Just all these parameters and things are very similar to what we do with e-learning design. So here we go. Character with shadow. Can we actually just replace the image? Yes, right click, replace image. Okay, didn't work out as well as I would have liked. So let's just drag it back in. And let's bring her up. Shadow's obviously quite big. And that's quite nice. Right, so what have we got? We've got an ellipse. We're going to drag on. I'll show you a few little tricks while I'm doing this. So if I open my, in Adobe XD, if I open my layers panel, I want the ellipse behind the character. See, so it's behind that. Right. And again, I want to have my rectangles come in. So I had my green rectangle. And I had my pink logo, just dragging and dropping. Right. And I've got my pink small flower. Let's just do the small flower. I mean, you can have so much fun with this stuff. You don't have to keep it these colours. You know, you could put it in any kind of colours. I'm just showing you kind of how you can break this stuff down. Pink rectangle. I think this was above, so if this one's above, you can see here, you're just going to have to move it like that. Okay. Got that other little larger flower. Where is it? Large flower. Drag this in. Might just make this a little bit smaller. Oops. And again, I just want to move that a little bit behind the small flower. right? And if I like that, I can turn it around and potentially use it here, make it maybe smaller. That isn't right. I shouldn't have done them both at the same time. Anyway, I'm a perfectionist, so this could take forever. You get the gist. I'm going to take this one out. I'm just going to leave this one here. Doesn't really matter. Let's add some text. So this was Delta Gothic 1. Right. So we've got some writing here. We're just going to add it here. Delta. Why isn't it coming up? There. And it's quite nice that you can just make things uppercase, nice and easy. Just going to make this slightly bigger. What am I going to put here? Maybe 100. Let's just write Cath Ellis in here. This is really, this whole exercise is just looking at inspiration, how you can get some ideas to utilize not only for your website brand. You know, if you didn't want to have a picture of you, but wanted to have a nice brand, you might, finding a character set like this would be absolutely brilliant, having it on your website. What do you think, Devlin? If you're still tuned in. Just going to make this green. I think that's what it was. And I think this was, I'm just going to duplicate this and say LX Designer. Make it smaller. And I might make this this colour. I can't remember what colour it was. Now, one of the things that I'm seeing isn't playing so well here is it's not reshaping so well. But in a tool like this, I could recreate something like this pretty easy. Yeah, so there you go. So this is just a little example of what you could do with these layers, how you could, if you were using it in Storyline, obviously you'd then add animations. But I wanted to just show you this as far as how you can go about breaking down each layer in Photoshop, because at some stage I'm going to start showing you how you can download things like templates in After Effects and how basically you can turn things on and off. So like we did here, I didn't particularly like the texture. Now let's say we just export the texture for giggles, right? And pop it in here as well. Oh, that's the flower, it's not the texture. Texture. Right. Sorry, guys. Right. It's good for you to be able to understand exactly how designers have layered things. I actually believe it helps you become a better designer yourself, right? So you might find a layer on a piece of stock that you're like, I really like that. Can I use that somewhere else, right? So I think that's a little bit too strong. Though I quite like that I'm just using the opacity here and just giving it something, right? I might go, I don't want it on that layer, but I want it on the back, right? So it's not on top of these things. You know, that might be something that you're interested in doing when you're doing mock-ups and things like that. I don't particularly like it, but so I'm just going to turn it off here. But there you go. So even if you are looking for little Easter eggs, little moments of joy like this logo, you know, if you're a non-designer and you can download a piece like from FreePick, right? That's a monthly subscription. There shouldn't be any reason why you're not downloading loads of things and just digging deep and trying to break down these kind of things. I'll do a lot more tutorials like this, but this caught my eye. These kind of characters I think are great, and when you're developing a portfolio, not everyone wants to have their face on the portfolio. I think it is quite important. People want to see you. But if, for example, with this suite of images, right, let's just look at them in a little bit more detail. These were all the different characters, right, that were available. These help tell a story on something like a portfolio. So here she is. It's like, this is me doing my work. So Sonia said, if you wanted to put this on your own website, is it just saved as an image PNG? Absolutely, right? So all you do, let's just quickly have a look at the other ones that I downloaded. So this one here. So quickly, if I go to turn off the texture, right? Now, I only remember this because I've kind of had this prepared. So again, I'm turning things off to work out what layer they live on, Sonia. So here, I've got my character, click on her. Here she is, right? So if you want all of those opacities, for example, cool, right? Let's just leave it on if you wanted it in this color, right? All you need to do is select that layer, right click, quick export as PNG. Let's just pop her in this tutorial file, and I'm going to call her woman reading. And here, let's just jump over to XD and find woman reading. And there you go. I mean, honestly, I'll tell you what, for you guys creating portfolios, if I came... I didn't put the shadow in there. Right, so if I just like storyline, right? You grab the shadows and you can group them. Group from layers. Right, so we're just gonna go. We're just gonna call it group. Right. Again, quick export as PNG. I'm just gonna call it group. This is when I start becoming a lazy designer. You can see my t-shirt here. It's called Revision Killers. I don't know if you can see it. So I should be naming that properly, but teaching you bad habits. So let's pop her out and grab her again with the shadow because it'll look better. But look at the quality on that. So good. Right. So if you wanted to have her in there instead of the character reading, I think she looks pretty top. And then I get my ellipse and I can let's just move center back, you know, that, and then send that to back. Yeah, I mean, I think that kind of thing looks pretty nice, you know. So Sonia, if you wanted to just use something like that on your website, you absolutely can. Yep. So again, this caught my eye, looking for characters, because I felt like as a learning designer, you know, it all helps tell a story about work that you do. You know, this could be an about me page. This could be your blog page header. This could be your portfolio page. This one could be your contact me. Or even something like this, you know. But ultimately what you're looking for is a cohesive brand that is going to that you can use not only on your website, but you can use on your LinkedIn profile, etc. And you don't have to use all these flourishes or this color scheme. You just rebrand it. You know, you just rebrand it, but you can. I'm just trying to show you how you can take little bits out and take inspiration from things. So on that last screen that I had, there was more iterations of this character, right? So you might go, oh, here you go. There's more of these, right? I quite like this look, right? So again, all you do, download. Yeah, I'm just going to pop it in there. PSD tutorial. Let's open it up. File. Open. Did I not save that in the right place? Oh, unzip it. Maybe that's the problem. And then it'll give you a JPEG and it'll give you a PSD. Open that up. So Sonia says, I don't have access to Adobe CC at the moment. Is there a free version of Photoshop you'd recommend to do a similar thing? Look, I know it's hard and it's an investment. I'll just quickly show you this. Oh, that's interesting. That's opening up in Adobe Illustrator. There are a couple of things. There is now let's see if this works. There's a program that's actually now just bear with me. My computer's obviously gone to sleep. Now, I thought there was also... Sorry, I don't know why this is taking so long. Put you back on me while this loads. There are a few free tools that are out there. I don't... look, I don't... did that open? No. Just bear with me a moment. So there is there probably are other tools. I'm not too privy to them because I am part of the Adobe system, Sonia. I know it's really hard and money can be quite tight, but I'd really try and recommend Adobe Creative Cloud. If you can stretch it. So let me just go back over to my desktop. Adobe is where's Adobe pricing? Yeah. See, I do it month by month. Right. You don't have to buy all apps. Right. So, for example, I've got dog scratching on the door. $29.99. You could get a 30-day. That's for Adobe stock. So certainly, student and teachers. This is in Australian dollars. You can get a discount on it. I'm paying this, and to be honest with you, Sonia, I know this looks like a lot of money, but you'll reap it back in the quality of work that you can produce using these tools. So I look at this as being a necessary evil. You know, you need to pay it. Now, there is, I was trying to open up another program that I had seen recently, but it's not loading. And it was basically someone had done a duplicate of Photoshop, and it was called Photopea, but it doesn't seem to be loading up. And I didn't dig deep enough into it. I think there is a DaVinci product. That's why I've mentioned it a few times, but I can't find it. But what I'll do is if there are some other options, I'll put them in the comments below. Right? Do you think this is something that you guys... Did that load? Here you go. Right, Photopea photo editor. Right, so let's just open that one that I just did. Let's just see. PSD. Okay. Vector. No. Where was it? Sorry, I'm just learning this. DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve, I think, is the video editor, but I might be wrong. Okay, so those are the stars. Oh, that's the round behind there. How do I... Yeah. I'm trying to... That's the logo. Image. Ah, it's an image. Okay. Double click on that. All right, so if I go here and I go to File, Export as PNG. Okay, this might work. And let's just call this girl reading. Spell reading right this time. All right, so we just duplicate this and go here, girl reading. That seemed to have worked. Yeah, so that's absolutely free. Where's it gone? I mean, look, here's the way I look at this. This is just a tool that I heard about recently, Photopea, PEA. But I'm really torn. Let me just close the door. I'm so sorry. I'm really torn because I feel a little bit like they have ripped off Photoshop, and I want to pay Photoshop or Adobe for their product, you know. But there you go. If you wanted to have a little play around, Photopea looks like it will work for Illustrator and Photoshop and will do what it does. Now, so today I wanted to focus on Photoshop. What I'm going to do is focus on my next video on Wednesday. Well, it will be Tuesday in America, Wednesday Australia. I'll be focusing on Illustrator. How do you edit and manipulate Illustrator files? If there's something that I haven't covered, or you want me to do a deeper tutorial in, let me know. Happy to do that. I certainly have learned a lot just by going and breaking down files and working out how I can, you know, how shadows have been applied and how I can manipulate things. And I'd suggest, you know, if you can, sign up to something like FreePick and dig deep. I think the quality of their stuff is great. I hope this has been a useful tutorial. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you know someone who could benefit from it, please share. If you've liked the video, please like and subscribe. I do have a like and subscribe. I'm terrible at doing this, but if you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you in a couple of days, do another tutorial, and I'll focus on Illustrator. If you've got any questions, reach out, drop them in the comments below, and I'll see you on the flip side, guys. Cheers.